Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews, fresh out of the box where I have no idea what the movers did. And so I have no idea what I own. Well, I know what I own, but I have no idea what's going to pop out. And let's see what shows up here. This should be interesting. I had a box of boxes. You know, there's like a box where they have like box sets or things that are bulky, and it's a huge box. I mean, they put it in like a wardrobe box. It must weigh 20,000 pounds. I don't know why they did it that way. I said to them, use book boxes, use smaller boxes, because CDs are heavy and box sets are heavy. But they didn't care, and I just got some of these. They're just huge. I could show them to you. They're right over there, but you get the point. And so they have tons of box sets, and I just went, let's see what we got. So the first one to pop out was Sir Adrian Boult, the complete conductor, from Tchaikovsky to Gershwin. Well, what have we to say? I guess the best thing you could say about this is that it consists mostly of British music and mostly of Holst. You get, let me see, the 1945 planets, the 1966 planets, the 1978 planets, and they're all very good. 66 is probably the best. 78 is probably sonically the best. So sonically marvelous, actually. And those are coupled with Elgar's introduction and Allegro and Robert Simpson's first symphony. There's a novelty. It's not a particularly appealing work, but it's a novelty. The Herbert Howells Concerto for String Orchestra, fabulous piece. And then we get Holst, a choral symphony. Oh, is that a great recording? What a wonderful, wonderful piece. I mean, it's such a beautiful, beautiful work. And why does it never get performed? And the scherzo, fancy folly song, she will bring them all together, all delights of summer weather. It's just wonderful. And then we've got, Bliss, music for strings, and the Parry Fifth Symphony with Blessed Pair of Sirens, symphonic variations, and the Elegy for Brahms. It's a beautiful disc. And Parry was, I think, one of Boult's mentors or something like that. I mean, Boult was taught by Purcell as well, but Parry too. And it's wonderful. Then we get Marches and Light Classics by Walton Clark, Walford Davies, Alford, Coates, Butterworth, and Smythe. Fun stuff. Tchaikovsky Orchestral Suite No. 3. That's a very good performance. Boult felt something for that work. The Capriccio Italien, the March Slav, and the Gopak, those are all fun performances. They're fine. Glinka, Ruslan and Ludmila, no, not the peppiest. Tchaikovsky, Romeo and Juliet, no, not the most passionate. The Nutcracker and the Sleeping Beauty, okay, they're nice. Then we get the Tchaikovsky 1812 Overture. Oh, it's not really very good. Rimsky-Korsakov's Capriccio Espagnol, also so-so. Stravinsky Circus Polka, Smetana, the Bartered Bride Suite, and Vltava. I mean, someone else has done these things better. Who are we kidding? I mean, they're not horrible, but, And then finally, Marches and Light Classics by, lots of people. Let's see. Ponchielli, Wolf Ferrari, Faya Sanson, Gershwin. Oh, yeah, this is the Gershwin. This is the disc. It has the Cuban Overture. I think the most horrible performance of that you've ever heard in your life. It is unbelievably rhythmically slack and completely slovenly. And I love listening to it because it's just so awful. Yes, it's the Cuban Overture. Oh, God. A blot on the career of an otherwise very distinguished conductor with an unblemished escutcheon. Well, his escutcheon got escutched when he did Gershwin. But everything else, it's a fun little box. It really is. Next, we've got Bernstein's Mahler cycle again. All right, this is New York Philharmonic, the complete Mahler symphonies. So what do we get? Well, we get here, see, the trouble with the Bernstein Mahler boxes is that none of them are the same. And you'd think at one point Sony would just say, okay, let's do Bernstein's Mahler. Let's put it in a box and release everything he did Mahler on Sony. But they don't. They can't. Do you get the song cycles? Do you get Das Lied von der Erde? If you get Das Knaben von der Horn, do you get it with orchestra? Do you get it with piano? I mean, it's just, do you get the Fischer-Dieskau early leader thing? They just can't throw it all in a box and let us have it. So what do we get here with the New York Philharmonic? You get all the symphonies, and you get the Adagio from number 10, plus the Kindertoten Lieder with Janet Baker. And, this is so well known, I don't have to spend a lot of time on it, do I? Do I really? Number one, Yeah, not great. It's not terrible, but his remake on DG's better. Number 2, well, the New York Philharmonic one, which is what this one is quite good, but it was better on DG as well. Number 3, stunning. 4, stunning. 5, a mess. 6, fabulous. 7, fabulous. 8 is with the LSO, and they include it anyway, even though it says New York Philharmonic, and it's better than the only other one we have, which was that live one from Vienna on DG that doesn't sound so good. And then you get the Adagio for the 10th and the Kindertone Lieder, which are perfectly fine. So that's the deal. It's Bernstein's Mahler in a box, but there was the Carnegie Hall box. There was just box after box after box. Find a box, if you want. You should have the best performances already, and if you don't, that's what they are, and we can put that aside. Finally, this isn't really this is a box set, kind of, sort of. This is Dvořák's Dimitrij. I like this opera. See, the story is the sequel to Boris Godunov. It's what happened after Boris Godunov, which is really rather cool. So it takes place in Russia. You've got a lot of the same people and Boris's kids who've grown up a bit, and it's a wonderful, wonderful opera. Dmitrij is the pretender who becomes the Tsar, and at the end he realizes that things aren't going to work out so well. So he allows himself to get shot by Shusky, or whatever his name is, Shusky, or what's his name? Let's see, yes, Prince Shusky. That's him. And it's a big, red-blooded, Verdi-like, it's like La Forza del Destino, only in Czech. You know what I mean? It has all of that kind of vigor, and it's got great choruses, and it's got wonderful arias. I mean, the what's her name? Marina Mniszkova. Remember her? She becomes Dmitrij's wife. She's from the Polish act in the original Boris Godunov. Ooh, she's fabulous. Ooh, she's vicious and wicked. She's kind of like Abigail in Nabucco. I mean, she's got this crazy tessitura, and she spends the whole opera shrieking at the top of her lungs. And this is a very, very fine performance. It features lots of people you haven't heard of, who I can't pronounce, and it's all led with the Czech Philharmonic under Gerd Albrecht on Supraphon. First class. A first-class piece, well worth getting to know, particularly if you like Boris Godunov, or if you like Slavic opera, or if you like Verdi. You can't go wrong. You really can't. It's just a beautiful, beautiful work. It deserves vastly more attention than it gets. Dvořák wrote a whole bunch of really good operas, and that really are completely neglected. I mean, Kate and the Devil, or The Devil and Kate, if you want to call it that, is fabulous. Rusalka, of course, we know. The Jacobin is marvelous. The Stubborn Lovers is terrific. Dmitrij is wonderful. They're really good. Not all of them are as good as everything else, but there are 5 or 6 that are as good as anything out there in the 19th century. They really are. And the only reason they get no play is because people don't believe that composers since Mozart can write operas and symphonies equally well. They just don't. But Dvořák did, which tells you something about Dvořák, doesn't it? So those are these 3 boxes here. We got, once again, we got Boult, we got Bernstein doing Mahler, and we have Dvořák's Dimitrij. That's a random selection, isn't it? Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.